Hey, welcome back to Subbrief's Naval News, everyone. This video is sponsored by Brilliant, but more on them in a minute. The Undersea Defense Technology Con has just wrapped up. It's the largest global event dedicated to undersea defense industry, and navalnews.com sent journalist Alex Venti to report on Hensoldt's Optronic Mast, and he came back with some very interesting information and an update on what the Type 212 CD is going to have. So let's talk about these submarine periscope masts. Modern periscopes are called Optronic masts and are often non-penetrating into the pressure hull, and that's what I believe these are as well. Let's begin with the OMS 150. This, I'm going to call it a periscope, even though it's an Optronics mast, just so you understand, has a day camera, a light camera, an infrared camera, as well as a laser rangefinder that's safe to the eye. So the operator can just trigger that and get an instant range to any visual contact. It also operates in the SW and MW IR range. So it's a fully functional, multifaceted, small periscope or Optronics mast. The OMS 200, the slightly smaller but more capable brother to the 150, has those cameras and in addition to has a radar warning receiver, GPS, SATCOM, a virtual probe antenna, which can be configured to do VHF, UHF, high frequency communications, and communicate with automatic identification system, which is the system all ships use to identify their port of origin, their name, their cargo, things like that. So the OMS 200 is a very capable multifunction mast. Now, the OMS 300, which is the one pictured over there on the far right-hand side of your screen, is a very compact, low observable, stealthy Optronics mast. And that's going to be very mission-specific. That's going to be used for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, gathering and recording. It is my understanding right now that the Type 212 Charlie Delta that's being built for countries like Germany and Norway and other countries will be using both the OMS 150 as their primary mast and then the OMS 300 for those special situations. So we have that to look forward to. And I have the link to this full story for you down in the description as well. Something I found interesting about the story was this mast called Octo 360. This is not a stealthy mast at all, but it has an interesting function. It doesn't rotate at all. You just raise it and lower it. And what it has is 8 cameras, 8 for daytime and 8 for night vision that see 360 degrees around. So the operator doesn't have to pan his view. He can see all directions all at once. And this is great for situational awareness. And the cameras are good for both long range and short range. You can, toggle the ranges. They're not just a fixed focal length. So that's really important as well. So one person, say the officer of the deck, can take a look at one screen, a widescreen, for example, and see all the way around his ship. And so that's a great instant snapshot of what's happening topside. Now, you would probably only use a mast like this whenever you're surface transiting, or if you're at periscope depth and snorkeling, then the snorkel's already going to be detected by a maritime radar anyway. You might as well raise this thing up and take a look around, and that will maybe keep you safe in navigation. If you're interested in the fundamentals of these types of systems and how they work together, check out our sponsor. These software-based naval systems are based on fundamental data science and analytics. Understanding how to analyze data and statistics is a key skill in 21st century engineering. And that's why I want to tell you about Brilliant.org. Brilliant is the best way to learn data science and analytics interactively. Brilliant has thousands of lessons from math to AI. I'm working on data science at the moment. Brilliant's basic animated method of instruction is reinforced learning and fun. Brilliant keeps track of your progress and rewards you as you complete objectives. Brilliant's interactive nature reinforces learning and helps with memory retention. It's like having a learning coach who can effectively teach you probability and data analytics. I've really enjoyed using Brilliant. I've learned so much in a short time, it's incredible. Brilliant is a great service and I'm happy to recommend them. But there's more. Brilliant has a special deal for the Subbrief community. To try everything Brilliant has to offer free for 30 days, visit brilliant.org/subbrief or click the link in the description. The first 200 of you will get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. And welcome back. So we lost another commanding officer over the weekend. The CEO of the USS John Finn, Commander Angela Gonzalez, was relieved of command due to loss of confidence in leadership. And the Navy, in a real change of doctrine here, gave us some details on this. She was relieved for poor performance and not misconduct. So I want to say thank you to the Navy for finally giving us some additional facts so that we don't have to speculate at how bad it might have been on board this command. This was simple, an individual performance issue. Now, being the CEO, that's significant, but at least it wasn't a command culture or something worse, as we've seen in other commands. So I would like to talk a little bit about, leadership, and especially in the Navy and our roles, but this also applies in the civilian world as well. In order to be a good leader, you need to have a couple things. And I think the first thing is expertise in your field. Have some experience in what you're managing and what you're the leader of so that you can rely on your own experience and share that with your subordinates. Now, she had been on several different commands before she was CEO of the USS John Finn, so I don't think expertise was an issue at all in this case based on her service record. Now, you have to be able to make informed decisions as well. So trust your wardroom and listen to them. Whether you're, a deck plate leader or you're the commanding officer of a warship, listen to the people that work for you and report to you directly, especially whenever you're not asking them questions, whether you're in the wardroom over a meal discussing something or they're just passing you in the passageway and they mention something to you. Those are the moments that they're sharing something with you that they find very important. So you want to listen to that and then, file that away or take action on it if you need to. Confidence is huge. You want to inspire confidence in your subordinates, and that will often engender confidence in you back, and that trust will snowball together. So you want to be confident and engender confidence in your subordinates. Be a problem solver. Too often, especially at the top of a chain of command, like the commanding officer of a ship, especially when it's at sea and you're the top responsible person, you simply collect information and check, what's going right and what's going wrong. Well, also provide feedback to help solve some of those problems to improve performance for what's going wrong. Don't simply check who's naughty and who's nice. Give feedback on how to make things work better. And be flexible with that information. The Navy has great guidelines based on centuries of experience, but today's challenges are unlike challenges we had even a couple years ago. So follow the guidance, and then don't be afraid to expand or work a little bit outside the guidance to solve today's problems. Have the courage to do that. But also, I'd warn you, be prepared to explain that if you do go outside the guidance to your chain of command, if that should come up. A big one also is emotional intelligence. I know I'm throwing a lot of terms at you here, but this one's important. So emotional intelligence is the ability to have empathy with those who work under you. And I did not see a lot of emotional intelligence in the service whenever I was in. So I would encourage people to try to have empathy for the deck plate and junior sailors and junior officers and try to see things from their perspective and help shape and mold them into good leaders by giving them, decision-making capability, inspire confidence in them, and just understand that they're not as experienced as you, and so they don't necessarily have that well of wisdom to draw from. Share them that wisdom that you have. And then the last one that I'll have for you is communication. Communication is so important no matter where you are, whether you're a manager or whether it's in your personal life. Communication is key to any kind of personal and professional relationship. And it's what makes it work or not. It's what makes success. So something I would recommend with communication is to set expectations early. Like your first day on board a ship is so important. Show the command what type of performance you can deliver and then what you expect as well. Especially when you're near the top as a commanding officer, you need to set expectations and make that very clear. Sometimes you got to do that every day. Whenever you're the leader of a division or the leader of a ship, leader of the wardroom, you have to make the expectations clear every day. Then set goals, set milestones that lead to those goals, and then go back and verify them. And I know that sounds complicated, and it is complicated. It's not easy to be a good leader, but you need to understand how leadership works so that you can do your best job at being a good leader. So your performance isn't poor and you end up getting relieved, as appears to be the case here. So, and I'll leave you with this, especially I saw this as an enlisted sailor so much, reward good performance, because that will engender more good performance after that. And it doesn't always have to be with, additional rank, because you simply can't award rank unless you're the commanding officer. You get like 1 or 2 a year. But, recommend awards if you're like in middle management, if you're in the senior enlisted ranks and you're just pushing up award after award for sailors that are doing good performance. Let the sailors know that they're being recognized. And yeah, not every award is going to be, approved, but just know that, show them the paperwork that you're putting in saying, hey, X sailor did this, and he should get, an achievement medal or whatever for his performance. Reward those young sailors, and they will work harder for you if you simply do things like that. So I do wish the commander success in her future positions, and I will link this story written by Heather Mongolio in the description as well, okay? All right, let's move over to the Royal Navy. Now, I kind of I did a lot of war games. I did a lot of one-on-one submarines war games with the Royal Submarine Force, and boy, very good equipment and sailors. Anyway, but let's talk about this Type 31 frigate now that I'm done fanning over them. It looks like we have a change to the configuration of the ship that's being constructed here, this Type 31 frigate. They're going to add the Mark 41 VLS to the ship here. Now, we do know that it's going to be 8 cells for a total of 32 cells being added. And whenever I look at the drawing of this ship, I really don't see where they're going to put it unless they're removing the sea scepter system silo from right amidships, right above where those multi-mission hangar boat bays are. So what does the Mark 41 VLS give this ship that the Sea Scepter does not? Well, the same capability would be the surface-to-air missile defense capability. Now, the Mark 41 can shoot a variety of surface-to-air missiles, some very long range and some very fast short range. So there's a lot of variety in that as well. But the VLS can also shoot anti-ship missiles, land strike missiles, and ballistic defense missiles if they have the right sensors on board to direct those missiles. So they just get a much larger capability and a wider variety of offensive capability for this ship. So this will enhance both defense and offense. The ship has been criticized as being like a porcupine, where it is highly defensive with the Sea Scepter and other systems on board, but it doesn't have much punch. So this is in response to those legitimate claims. So they're adding the Mark 41. They're also purchasing 11 naval strike missile sets. So it is likely that they're going to add the NSM to the top side of this Type 31 frigate. Now, that's not been officially announced. There's no drawings saying that it is, but it is awfully convenient that in response to the criticism that the Type 31 has been receiving, they seem to be taking action by adding the Mark 41 launcher, and they've purchased these 11 missile sets, the launchers, the whole kit. So they're going to go somewhere, and it's likely going to be on the Type 31 series of frigates. So we look forward to that. Now, what does the NSM add to that? Well, the NSM is a stealthy missile, which is really important. It is subsonic, and it is an anti-ship missile. So they can, this is going to add to the offensive capability of this little frigate. And something I kind of stumbled across while doing some research for what other systems that might be on this frigate is the Spear 5. Now, I want to say up front, there's no way the Spear 5 is going to fit on this frigate because it is a huge missile. But it is going to be in service in 2028 if they stick to the schedule. It is a hypersonic cruise missile that is both anti-ship, a strike missile, meaning land attack, and it can be launched from submarines, ships, and airplanes. All right. It has a 300-kilometer range, and it does fit in the Mark 57 launcher, which is the launcher that the Zumwalt class uses. So if we start seeing Mark 57 systems being installed on future builds of whatever nation besides the United States, it is likely that this type of missile will be launched from that platform as well. So just keep an eye out on any Mark 57 VLS installations. Right now, those are already in operation on our Zumwalt. So we could actually buy the Spear 5 and put it on the Zumwalt if we wanted to do it that way. But I often, I look at maybe the European countries buying our Mark 57 like they're buying our Mark 41 VLS just to launch this missile after 2028. So that's a lot of speculation on my part. Whenever that actually happens, we'll let you know. All right, so thanks for watching, everybody. Go ahead and check out our sponsor. Brilliant is a great sponsor. I want to thank them for sponsoring this channel this month. Click the description below and learn about how these systems and data collections all work together. You'll learn the fundamentals, and then from there you can build on specifics. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye. Wait, what happened? I went off script. Yeah, you know me, I riff sometimes. Oh, I said Brilliant will help you with data collection? No, no, no. Brilliant will help you with data analysis. You'll learn how to analyze data quickly. Yeah, not collection. We should add this somewhere in the video. Oh, crap. Click the link in the description. Brilliant's awesome.